Sharon. She ran away.
I'm not sharing. There we go.
Now it's
So go. So ready to go?
You can stay.
You ready? Okay. Notice is hereby given pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Vernon's annotated statute, Article 6252-17, that the city of Smithville will conduct a Historic Preservation and Design Standards Committee meeting on Wednesday, July 19th, 2023 at 5 p.m. at City Hall, 317 Main Street in Council Chambers. Meeting is called to order. I'm Caroline Noya. I'm the current vice chair of this committee. And I'm going to have, starting from the right to the left, introduce yourselves, please. Leroy.
Bonnie Joplin.
Susie Cannon, Nancy Catherman,
Victoria Allen.
Victoria Allen.
Monica Poss.
Walter Winslet.
Okay, thank you. We have announcements, proclamations, and awards. The first presentation is the EPICS program from TxDOT representatives, Jason Rivas, right? Rivas, welcome. Hello.
How to pronounce my last name? It's the last year, so. Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Rivas. I am a historic preservation specialist with TxDOT based out of Austin. And I'm just here today to talk a little bit about our proposed sidewalk project coming up into your lovely little town. It's mostly going to be focused on those bump outs that you see along 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and I believe 6th Street. The main street and those corners right there. And there is also going to be some work along 1st Street as well. I know that this is a National Registered listed historic district. It is very important to y'all that we not only respect the historic resources here, but that we acknowledge y'all's part in the whole process. So I'm here to answer any questions, talk about the project, or smile and wave. Does anyone have any questions? Whatever you like, I will talk about it.
It's basically sidewalk.
Yes, at the moment it is just sidewalks. The purpose of it is to make sure everything is ADA compliant and safe. But at the same time, we are going to make sure that it respects the historic resources present in the area. So for example, if there is a sidewalk being replaced next to a historic building, we would put something in called protection notes, which I'm going to hand a copy to each one of y'all so y'all have a general idea of what it is. But a protection note is essentially a form that we put inside the project plan sheets informing the contractor that this building is historic and you need to follow these processes to work around this building to respect it. And hopefully in theory, they listen to it. But that's where y'all come in, because we also have something called monitoring commitments. And what a monitoring commitment is we have someone go in before, during, and after the project, taking photos and examining the whole site to ensure that the plans have been followed and everything is a-okay. And so right now at the moment, we do have, let's see, I believe we have the contractor shall notify the Austin District and Jill Strube.
Strube.
Sorry about that. I'm Hispanic. We don't know how to pronounce half the words in the English language. In theory, you will be informed 2 weeks before the project starts. And then during the project itself, we would like it that someone would just come by, visit, look around. In particular, Jill will probably come by and take some photos. That way we can keep up to date with the plan. We do this because we want to make sure that the project is being followed and respected according to the plans. And B, since we are based out in Austin, we can't always be on the ground level monitoring our contractors. But that gives us an opportunity to empower y'all, the community, to monitor over it, because y'all are equal stakeholders in this. We want to make sure that y'all are happy customers.
Thank you.
Example of the protective measures.
Yeah, I have copies that I'm gonna hand out to everyone afterwards, but I can name some of them actually. The first one you will see here is to minimize potential damage to historic structures and materials. Contractor to saw cut existing sidewalk 8 to 12 inches away from the historic building. So essentially, they can't use a power tool or a machine or anything like that near your historic buildings if there's some sort of sidewalk related proposal there. They have to hand cut.
Are likely to crack along that cut at a later date.
No. And in fact, we'll be putting in expansion joints. Expansion joints allow the cut area to sort of like relax and finesse. They're usually like a piece of wood or some other sort of joint measure that can ebb and flow with the heat, because we all know what heat does to cement and concrete. Anything else?
The time frame.
What happens to any artifacts that are found while digging this up?
Okay, first off, you asked for the time frame. I do not know that answer, but when we do get an idea of that, we will be sure to pass that along to y'all.
Okay.
As for artifacts, if we do find something of archaeological concern, the contractor has to stop immediately and inform TxDOT of the finding so that we can have an archaeological team come on out and observe and investigate.
Artifacts after that, if say a revolver's found underground or some tokens or whatever.
I don't know why they would bury a Beatles album underneath sidewalks, but if anything like that were to be found, I honestly cannot give you an answer to that because I'm not an archaeologist. That's the archaeological side. I just deal with the above ground resources.
Sorry. Just because my daughter
does this for a living. I think the Texas Historical Commission would get involved at that time. That's what they do.
Congratulations to your daughter.
Uh-huh.
Texas Historical Commission is a great place to work.
I just wanted to clarify for the timeline. I expect that we'll go to bid for contract work in August or potentially September.
Okay.
That process usually takes 2-3 months before any kind of work will start. So we're looking at something like end of, something like November, December
Okay.
kind of thing before we start doing any kind of construction.
Okay.
The other part and I don't know that, I'm not sure that you might have known this, but this particular project, the sidewalks are going to be down First Street, but what we're looking at is just the ADA ramps along Main Street. So there should be very minimal effect to the sidewalks. And since the sidewalks are 3 or 4 feet away from the buildings, there should be very minimal impact to the buildings.
Thank you.
My
Thank you.
apologies. I thought I did mention that. Well, I thought I inferred to that when I mentioned the bump outs along the corners of First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth. So my apologies for not being more clear for that.
That's
Thank you,
okay.
Jill, for clearing that up. Any other questions?
No, I don't have any.
Feel free to ask whatever. I get paid by the hour.
Nope, I don't have anything. Nope, that's it.
Are we aware of the Section 106 process that we have to go through?
No, Jess.
The Section 106 process is essentially, and I wrote it down to make sure I say it right. Section 106 requires that a federal agency identify and assess the effects its actions may have on historic buildings. So to put it simply, if you're taking federal dollars, you need to go through a process called Section 106 to make sure that that federal undertaking does not potentially cause effects to a historic structure. So the first step would be to establish the undertaking, and then we would identify and evaluate the historic properties. If we need to go further, we would then assess the effects to the historic property. And the last step would be to resolve any adverse effects. We are not going to the last step. All work is already been documented. We know what to do, what to respect, where to cut, what to tell the contractors, and we have all of y'all to watch over and make sure that the project is done correctly. So in effects, we're really just worried about the first couple of steps.
Okay.
But that's the Section 106 process. It's the historians and the archaeological teams at TxDOT. Since we are accepting federal dollars to do this project, we have to go in and make sure that this is followed through a process.
Thank you.
I also just wanted to add one more thing, and thank you, Jason, for coming out. We really do appreciate just you being here, even if it's only for, it's a long trip for just a few minutes, but we appreciate that very much. And I did want to say, just y'all aren't going to be contacting Jason directly. If you see something, come and talk with me about it, and then I'll funnel that over to the appropriate people. So just so you know that that's the protocol we have here.
Okay, thank you.
Johnson town, so stick around. Don't make it the trip for just a few minutes.
Thank you very much. I am going to stick around for a bit because I am also a amateur preservationist. So I'm interested in y'all's next item on the agenda. If I can just find the agenda, so I'll continue talking and burning time while I look. Okay, I couldn't find it. But if that is all, I will hand out copies to everyone. Feel free to contact Jill if you have any questions, and she'll throw them either to myself or Linda Henderson. She is also the other historian overseeing the project, and she is well more versed and knowledgeable than I will ever be. So you should probably ask for her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item that we have is our, the Smithfield Heritage House had been given a designation, was it 2 months ago? I believe, thank you very much. 2 months ago as a heritage house, a heritage structure. So it's a historic structure, historic marker. So we have, that's supposed to take this off of here. That's the attack. Okay. So Leroy, we would like to present you with the historic marker. Wow. Isn't that pretty? Wow. With the Heritage House. Put up here? I don't, do we have any? I want everybody to take it. You want me to jump down? Yeah, that's okay. Now I know why you're here. Congratulations. Jason, we already have this in our packet.
I probably do.
Nope, that was. Yeah, this is it. This is it.
That's correct.
Yep. It's okay. Yeah.
Sure. Take over.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes, or enjoy your restaurant wherever you decide to go. With any other public comments on that? I mean, did you want to say anything, Dennis? Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is discussion and action for the committee to elect. Yes, ma'am.
Wanted to say thank you to the cultural district for paying for the,
Thank you to the cultural district for paying for the historic marker. We do appreciate that very much. Paying for the historical markers for this heritage home. The late Richard Latham cultural. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. For the discussion action for the committee to elect a historic preservation design standards chairperson. I am currently the vice chair and my plate is overflowing. So I'm wanting to have to pass this on to someone. I would take nominations.
I would like to nominate Monica Post.
I would like to second that one. I would like to say Monica makes cute facial expressions.
Any discussion, any objections? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Unanimous. Yay. Thank you, Monica. Yes. No, it's really fun. It's a fun job. It's just that I just don't have time for the fun right now. Well, I'm stretched, but thank you very much. And Jill is your right hand girl there. She's your right hand man and left hand and backup. Yes. Okay. Discussion and review of our minutes for the of the minutes from the May meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Accept the minutes.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second for the minutes? Do I have a second for the minutes?
Did you get a motion?
Yes, I did.
I'll second them. I read them. I read everything and then I forgot to print it and bring it. So yes, I'll second on the minutes.
Thank you. Any discussion? Susie, yes. All in favor? Say aye. Aye, unanimous. Okay, go back to here again. Guess we have to have my glasses on. Now we have discussion on a certificate of appropriateness for the Texas flag mural. We had we had discussed this last time of adding Smithville, Texas to the flag mural last time. Does everybody remember that? When we talked about it? Victoria, did you want to, I know you're taking the minutes, but would you like to make a presentation?
I'm asking for the additional wording on the flag. It gets photographed so often. So many people love to get their picture taken there, and I just think it would be great marketing for the time.
I think it's an excellent idea.
And also Judy Paul said she would paint it for us.
Local artist, good.
We have to approve this.
Yes.
Make a motion that we approve this, adding Smithfield, Texas to the Texas flag
Mural.
mural at the corner of Main and Second.
Is there a second? Walter, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Passes unanimously. And that will be presented to the city council, right? Is it at the next month meeting?
yes,
Or-
it'll be at the next next city
August.
council meeting in August. Yeah. And just for the record, you'll have to show that you've abstained as well. That you'll
you
just have to show
abstained.
that you abstained. Yeah.
Okay. In addition to the change for me, we still have a vacancy for Sarah O'Brien's position.
I have a question about filling that position. There are nine, 9 people on this committee, and I know that at moments it's been a struggle to get a quorum. You wouldn't know that from all the people who are here now, but I've had phone calls from Sarah scrambling to make sure there are going to be at least 5 of us. Do we really need to fill that position, or can we let it drop to 8?
Is,
Is this a city council question?
Well, you can you can advise city council as to what you would like to do. Right now, you have a set of, it's not called bylaws, it's procedures or something. And it says it's a 9-member committee. And part of that's because you've got representative from 3 organizations.
Mhm.
And so then that kind of, the way that it was set up initially was to have those, make sure those representatives were there, and then to have other community members, at large, representing different parts of the community. So if your position is that you would like to go down to 8, that's that's kind of your call. If you wanted to make a motion and that's not on our agenda here. So you'd have to, at the next meeting, you would have to say, we want to officially change the number of the committee members. And then, and I think we just need to talk to Robert Temple about if it has to go to council or not. I'm not really sure, because it's your group is your group. So there's a little bit of process, but you'd have to have it on the agenda and talk about it and vote on it at that time.
Well, I'm wondering if recommendations can include discussion on what other people think of a recommendation to
Or we-
lower the number.
or we could table it till next month, next month or
I mean,
next.
I think you could discuss anything because it's
Yeah.
under discussion,
Mhm.
right? What do you think?
I
Nancy?
just have one question to clarify. I know on planning and zoning, the chairman has a vote, but I know on some committees, the chairman doesn't. And I've been chairman of this committee, but I think I always voted. but
Yeah,
that was
and I
years
think-
ago.
yeah, I
I don't
think-
know.
If I remember
I think
correctly,
we
you
need to
do.
clarify
Yeah,
that.
we do vote. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember because Carol Snyder used to vote when she was in charge of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the chairman does vote.
And that's another thing that you could change if you wanted to.
Mhm.
That's something that I- Handy to know.
Sure. If I remember correctly, and I can go back to my office if y'all don't need me for a little bit, and I can pull that information up for you if you like. I don't recall off the top of my head because it's been a while.
It just has come up recently someplace else,
Mhm.
but
But I'm pretty sure that the chair always voted on,
Right.
at least if it's, I believe it's in the document, but I know for sure by practice, y'all have done it that way.
Yeah. Bonnie, you had to say something. Yes.
Robert's rules, doesn't the chairman not vote but break the tie? So,
If,
no,
if you're set up that way.
if it's
Yeah,
set up
yeah,
that
but
way,
because
yeah.
otherwise we've,
But 8 could be a tie and nobody to. So it might be why there's 9. I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't read.
because they're going to be, because the city council is.
Yeah.
can't vote
right.
Right, so
unless it's a
that,
tie.
right,
Yeah.
so that would.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I'm pretty sure that that's how y'all had it set up, because it was, if I recall, having an odd number meant
Right.
that there should theoretically, unless
You-
somebody's missing, there wouldn't be
Right.
a tie. So, but that's, another thing for y'all to talk about.
Question. And I recommend Fred Beck. He's got a lot of historic experience.
Pretty good about
Mhm.
handing.
Mhm.
Walters,
Mhm.
here. I
Well,
am.
Yep,
You
yep.
are.
Yep.
You are, and you've
Yeah.
been it since you were appointed a couple
Yeah.
months ago.
Do we have a second? We have a nomination for Fred Beck. And
Yeah.
all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Voting for it.
Fred Beck, main
Fred.
gallery, main
Oh,
gallery,
Fred.
Voting for what?
Fred Beck on,
Fred back
Oh,
to fill the vacant position. That's what we just voted on.
okay.
the own main gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all in favor, we said aye? Okay.
Does he get any say in it or?
No.
Did I say that? Did I say that?
Well, he's been before us before and he is very knowledgeable.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
so-
I just wasn't sure if we were gonna be interrupting his raving social life or something like that, you know?
Have you spoken to him?
For today and haven't heard back yet,
Okay,
but he can always decline.
Sure.
that's
okay,
true.
yeah.
That's true. But in the meantime, we've nominated him and moved, seconded, voted.
Surprise.
Yeah. Congratulations, Fred.
Or swipe.
Yeah,
Or Lori. Or Lori.
She's very
Yeah.
knowledgeable.
Well, we've nominated and confirmed Fred. So if he denies, he may choose to nominate his wife or suggest his wife.
While we're here, can we recommend a backup? In case I recommend Lori Beck as a backup if Fred declines.
I think if you'd like, you could probably recommend 2 or 3 or 4 even, you know, to choose from and then kind of say this is in priority or not priority, but I don't know, that you
Pecking
preference
order.
or like having had conversations with Fred before or, you know, like, so if you wanted to give them a slate to say and talk with the different people who are on that slate, however council would like, I'm not really sure. I'll have to talk to Jennifer about how to approach that. I don't know if you just throw it out to the 4 people and then, you know, one of them gets it, or if you kind of go one by one down the road, I'm not sure, but
Mayor have to offer that appointment?
yes, yeah, it would be the mayor's appointment. Yeah,
So perhaps we need to come up with a list of names to present to the mayor.
right. That's, I think, probably your best bet.
Okay, so we'll do Fred and Lori.
Nelson.
Michelle Nelson. Okay. Are there any other
Do
suggestions?
you have anyone, Walter?
So we will rescind.
anyone?
We'll rescind our nomination of Fred at this moment. And we will resubmit the name. We will discuss with Lori, with Fred and Lori and Michelle to see if they'd be interested. And then once we have those names, then we present that to the mayor and okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Historic preservation boards. Historic preservation awareness in the historic district. We were talking about those door hangers. I don't think anybody has made any progress on this. Has anyone done any of the assignments that we talked about? I see we got the price list.
Look at this and approve the design, and then we would know
Mhm.
how much space we had to fill up with articles.
Mhm.
So I know Jill Andy had put this together at first, and it says something about this will be double-sided, but I don't know that I ever saw a double-sided one as an example.
I think that it's, so if you look at the door hanger itself, I think that what you would kind of visualize is probably, because that's just too small the way
Yeah.
it is. So probably the first side would be the about HPDS, and then the second side would be the, you know, the welcome to Smithville, Texas with the dates. And that was what Leroy had provided to us previously. And so the other suggestion that I can't remember, I guess that's not on here, but at least Andy and I had talked about the possibility of maybe there may be some funding to be able to take it over from the cultural district, to take it over to like Debbie Denny or somebody who does this kind of thing for a living, that it would be, well, I guess Denise's estimate, I think that it's been a little while now. I think that she would be able to kind of desktop publish it, you know, like do all the, make it pretty and publish, you know, the whatever you call that.
Because I remember we had talked about
Yeah.
putting the Smithville logo above the door, above at the top of the piece.
Okay, I just had one comment. I like the idea of getting a professional or semi-professional to do the design,
Yes.
because I think what we're looking at right now is too wordy,
Yes.
much too wordy.
Yeah.
And the type at the bottom is much too small.
Yeah.
Because you want something that people can glance at and kind of tweak their interest. I don't know that they need all of this information, but what is interesting and important, very important, is that they can read it.
Mhm.
And having been in the printing business for my life, that would be the one comment I would make. The one.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was just to give you kind of an idea. It was not at all. It's
Yeah.
absolutely nowhere close to being ready to go. So if you're interested in moving forward with this, I think that the question had been on the cost. I wasn't sure at the time if it was, the estimate wasn't clear to me that that was a single-sided or a double-sided. And so now I've confirmed that the 340-240 is for a double-sided. And so what I can do is get back with Denise and see, see how we could make that all work out. And if she's, I believe that she was going to be doing the design work. And then I can come back if you have ideas of what kind of design you'd like, other than that the logo should go to the top. If there's something that you'd like to have in, if you want it to be just stark white, or you want it to have some kind of color at the bottom, or if you have something that you want to see on that design work that I can guide Denise, that would be really helpful. So, and if you want to just have Denise come back with, like 3 or 4 different designs, and then you can kind of choose from that, I can ask her to do that too.
One other suggestion I would make. A lot of people seem to like to reverse the type out so that the type is white. No,
No.
the
Okay.
type should be black so people can see it. Because,
It's hard to read the other way.
Okay.
yes, very.
All right. I will tell her not to do
White
the
type.
reverse type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
to reverse it out. That's my.
I have it here that we were supposed to start writing articles. Faith Franklin's was the first one due on May 17th.
Leroy is now Faith.
Right.
So he is,
It was his assignment.
that was, he did write, Leroy, you did write the piece that is squished on that sample door hanger, didn't you? Yeah.
When I went by the examples from waste management that I had, and I tried getting it in within their parameter, but I was not aware that the city was going to put the other part, the city and all this other stuff about the historical district on it at the time.
Well, so I have a suggestion. And now we have that second side to work with as well. So your piece could actually be longer. We just need to probably flip it onto the other side so it has more space. But I will go before our next meeting. I'll go back through our minutes and find the schedule of who was supposed to write what, when, and I will, okay. And then I'll call the first 3 people on that schedule and make sure within the next 30 days, those first 3 pieces are done. Because I think I'm responsible for one of those.
Yes.
So it's Leroy's, and then the second one was Sarah O'Brien. So yay, Fred. And then
What was his topic? Sarah's.
what is the HPD SAC?
Okay.
And then Monica, yours is why do we have design standards? And then Walter, you're up next.
Okay, so we'll make sure the first 3 are all ready within the next 30 days. And I'm gonna, Sarah, if you're out there listening, you still have to write that second one. And we'll just get it done. And then I'll work with Jill to make sure we get several designs out to everybody in the next 30 days so we can pick one and then we can go to print.
Just to relieve some of that pressure, remember that normally you all meet quarterly. It's just been that we've had a couple of COAs.
Right.
And so the next time you would actually, 30 days can, if you want to keep that kind of as a subcommittee timeline to just make sure the ball is rolling, that's fine. But the next time you all will meet to make a decision about it will be, what is this,
October,
July, August,
October.
September, October?
Yeah, but we've also delayed, when we've been talking about this since October, November, or something last year. So we've delayed it quite a while and it'd be nice to actually have it happen this year. And I'm wondering, Leroy, would you mind being on a subcommittee with me and you can help pick out photos for the different topics since you know the Historic Society's photo archive better than any of the rest of us? Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Photos down there.
Anybody else want to help?
I'm interested. I just don't know if I have time, but include me on the email
Okay.
and I'll see if I can get down there. That would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. I mean, thank you.
Okay.
Is that how we end the meeting?
Is that-
Bye.
Okay, next, the marker application and program update. Have y'all reviewed this? This was the letter that we were looking at, and then we have the price list.
Oh, I was going from that.
Right. You want one? Is that what you said? Did you say you wanted one?
Historical marker?
Yeah.
Well, my house is over 50 years old, barely. There's nothing historical about it. No, I don't need.
Okay. I thought you said you wanted one. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, no. How old is the peacock? The peacock is only about 10, 12. For those of you who don't, I'm not gonna put this on the air. I have an 8-foot metal peacock in my front yard. Okay.
I move we accept the nomination package, historic marker package as presented.
Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Victoria. Do we have any more buildings or homes that anyone can think of to be recognized? If we do, we'll think about that for the next meeting, but there should be, like, some of the churches, I think would be good. Some of the buildings downtown might be interesting, and to have some of the ones downtown.
Yeah, I have a person.
Sally and Bruce Laylaw live in probably the first duplex in first considered modern home up on the river on Colorado.
Okay.
And it's, I don't know when it was built. I think probably sometime in the late 60s, early 70s. And that's a little bit different than the really historic homes, but it has a lot of story with it. Because the two ladies that started the Smithville Savings and Loan built it. That's why it inside it used to be a duplex.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if this qualifies, but the original Baptist church it's 100 years this year. It's 1923. And they're working on at Hudgens and Fourth.
Hudgens and Loop.
Hudgens and Fourth. Well, the
Fourth.
loop, yeah, the old
Okay, the
church
old
building,
church.
and then the newer one is on the Loop and
Okay.
Hudgens. But it's 100 years old this year, and they're working on getting funding and a grant to renovate the inside, but leave the outside of it totally intact.
Do you think they'd be interested in applying for a marker?
They might.
Okay.
I'll mention it to them.
Thank you. Okay. Any future agenda items that we need to discuss that y'all want to bring up? Other than what we've already discussed for the topics for the door hangers?
Rather than have that be an agenda item and have to have a meeting just for that, or wait 3 months till the next scheduled meeting. Well, what if people submit drafts and I just circulate the drafts to everyone? You have, 3 days to comment, and we bring the comments all back together, revise it, publish it, and we don't need a meeting about it.
It's a great idea.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, anything else for discussion?
My only concern with that, Monica, would be that I know when people have requested in things that we've looked at, I think the experience of questioning them in person, also getting input from the rest of the members is very important.
Suggesting that it gets circulated to all of the members and all of the members have an opportunity to comment on the draft door hanger pieces. And so if you have questions of the author, obviously any of us would be welcome to call the author with our own questions, but everyone would have a chance to review it
Well,
and
I
provide
know
comment.
personally, and I've been around a long time, that at these meetings, listening to the input of the other members and not seeking out the members in their private life, but getting the input here is very important because it can open new doors in each of our minds. And right now, I believe the way we have done that is called a special meeting. Is that not what has been the tradition?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think part of it is also that when you get the committee can kind of solidify things to a certain extent and then bring that, and you can absolutely do a special called meeting. That's anytime that you would want to do that, you can do that.
Or you could have a work group, right?
Right, yeah.
You-
And
that-
if you have a special called meeting, we would have to, it's a 3-day notification.
well,
So just like
Yes, I'm
what
very
we're
well
doing.
aware of that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and but if you're having just a work group of a subcommittee, you don't have to go through the open meetings
Right.
stuff because you're just, it's
You-
working on a project and it's
Right.
not making a final decision about things. Whereas, if you wanted to go through the process
But you
and to
can't have
say,
a quorum together unless it is a meeting.
correct, yes, but if you're talking about
A
a work
formal meeting,
group
yeah.
to do a project, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if it gets to be a big committee, we'd have to talk about that. But if you're only talking about 2 or 3 people to get a project done, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I think you get,
Just
I think you can probably get a
my
lot of work.
personal opinion.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of work done in the work group, and then present to the committee after you've gotten some of the work groups done. Right, right.
Sure. And that's up to kind of how you guys want to.
Work to
Handle
get
that.
that done. Okay. Okay. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything? Leroy, Bonnie, Susie, Nancy, y'all have anything else? Victoria, Monica, Walter? I move we adjourn. Anybody wanna move? Yeah, okay. That's it. Meeting adjourned. Oh, meeting not adjourned. What?
Who's going to make the motion to
Oh,
adjourn the
okay, well then
meeting?
then go ahead and make the motion. You can make the motion. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay.
Anybody second that motion?
No, we want to stay here.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Did everybody sign in?